Okay, wonderful. Well, it's 4 p.m. sharp, so let's make a start, shall we?
Let's do it.
Great. So welcome everybody to today's webinar. The title of today's webinar is Accurate Video Localization at Speed and Scale Using Artificial Intelligence, and featuring our esteemed guests, LILT. I'm going to introduce our co-host today from LILT in a moment. This is our third webinar this year that we've co-hosted with LILT, really driving this partnership forward, and we'll get into the detail of what it is exactly that we're doing with LILT to help our clients scale their video localization. So just a little bit of housekeeping before we start the webinar today. So the webinar will be recorded. So for those of you that need to share this with your colleagues, we'll be sharing a link to the webinar once it's finished. Just give us a couple of hours to get that sent out to you. If you do have questions throughout the webinar, please add those into the Q&A box, and we'll answer those as we go through. If we don't have time to answer them as we go through, we'll try and answer them at the end. And if we really don't have time to answer some of the more complicated questions, or if we need to take some away, then we'll come back to you directly. But usually we try and get through all of the questions that you can ask. And please do ask questions. These sessions are much more fun and engaging if we get questions and we're put on the spot a little bit to test ourselves. So just introducing myself, my name is James Jameson. I'm the Chief Commercial Officer over here at CaptionHub. CaptionHub is a multimedia localization platform, and we're really honored today to have LILT co-hosting with us. And I'd like to introduce my co-host today, Vignesh Rajendran, who's a product manager over at LILT. So Vignesh, hi, really great to have you here with us today.
Hey, thanks, James. Super excited to be here. And yeah, LILT is an AI application for enterprise translation use cases. Super excited to be here. I am the product lead for integrations, connectors, and data offerings here at LILT. I've been here for almost 3 years and previously came from a background in venture and early stage startups and enterprise SaaS tooling. So excited to chat through today and chat through our partnership.
Awesome, super excited. Thanks so much, Vignesh. So let's jump in. So just a background to our thinking at CaptionHub when we are selecting a partner. So we don't have a wide marketplace of integrations. We tend to be very selective in terms of the technology and the teams that we partner with. And we really look for a deep expertise in the technology and the domain that we're looking to partner into. But more than that, we look for a really close culture fit between the teams. It's really important that we can partner side by side with all of the teams and individuals inside of one of our partner organizations, so that when we're mutually going out to customers, that we have a united force and really that we can sing off the same hymn sheet. So this was all very clear from the outset with our engagement with LILT. And it was actually one of our larger clients in the US, who we'll talk about a little bit later on, who drove the initial engagement with LILT, but it's really just gone from strength to strength this year. And obviously what we look for is an integration with our technology stack and our products that gives our customers a unique product in the market, a unique way of solving a particular problem set. And in this case, it's accuracy in localization and video localization using AI, but also some of the human in the loop components that LILT can bring along to CaptionHub. And Vignesh is going to talk about some of those things a little bit later on. So in terms of the product integration, this is something that LILT built into CaptionHub. I think it was summer 22, so it's over a year and a half old now. And it's used by a number of organizations. And really what this is doing is it's allowing users to take subtitles out of CaptionHub and then apply LILT's contextual AI engine and human verification. So you're getting the ability to apply AI and accurate AI, but also taking it to the full level of verifications that humans can do. So this is really a tried and tested solution now out there in the market. And we're really pleased to be bringing this out to market with the LILT team. It's a really fantastic solution. It brings together really the sort of symbiosis that we're talking about at CaptionHub and have been for years. And I know that AI is certainly getting a resurgence, and there's a lot of discussion in the localization industry about AI at the moment. But our view has always been that there is this very distinct symbiosis between artificial intelligence and human intelligence, or human in the loop. And the question always is, how can we bring those two together in the most elegant way to give our customers the best possible solution? And that's what we're going to be talking about today. So I'll just hit pause myself for the moment, and Vignesh, I'll pass over to you to talk the webinar audience through LILT.
Thanks so much, James. Yeah, so I thought in this sort of like fun, crazy year of AI explosion, where seemingly every company is and has been an AI company, I thought it could be helpful to share a little bit about our experience and history within this space, specifically AI-driven localization. And so we've been sort of deeply embedded in AI since the very beginning. Actually, the founders met at the Stanford AI Research Lab with more than a decade of experience with AI-driven translation specifically. And LILT's goal from the very beginning has always been for every person to be able to access digital products, services, information on the internet in the same way that you and I do as native speakers of English. And the only way to do this cheaply, cost-effectively, and at scale is doing this via AI. And so as we're seeing this buzz of AI, a fun fact is that in the past 10 years, there hasn't been a single word that's gone through LILT that hasn't gone through our contextual AI platform. And so we've kind of stuck with this thesis and really believe in it and have been for a long time. This year, as I'm sure is the case with many of you in the audience, we've been talking to a lot of our customers who are in the midst of transforming their businesses with AI. Many of them have been asked by their business leaders to say, hey, we're seeing ChatGPT, we're seeing all these generative AI use cases. What is the strategy? What's changed radically in the last 9 to 10 months is now customers are not just looking to use it, but they're looking to build, train, deploy, own their own models, and integrate those into their workflows. LILT has had the expertise here, experience, technology to do this for a long time. And we've been supporting customers through that process. And I've also been doing so with some exciting new releases on the contextual AI platform that I'll talk about later today. Lastly, I think it's important to highlight that data security and privacy, I think, is a natural next question in AI. It's kind of the second order question that we have here. Yeah. We've been working with intelligence defense community for a long time and are able to meet the strictest of customer data protocols as a result. Since the very beginning, we've been partnered with organizations like the DoD, DOJ, Air Force, UK law enforcement agencies, NWS, et cetera. So it's important to us. I know it's important to you. And so just wanted to highlight that as well.
Yeah, thank you for highlighting that. I think one of the things that I've found really astonishing this year is the pace of or acceleration and change in mindset in enterprises. I certainly know when we were having discussions with LILT and our clients later last year, particularly around large language models, there still seemed to be a level of fear around adopting those language models and really, what is AI? What are those language models and where is my data going to go? And I felt that fear was very much present through Q1 this year, but it's amazing that in that sort of 6 to 9 month period, we've gone from, sort of generally a mindset of fear in our client base to one of like, how can we adopt this now? Which is a fairly an amazing acceleration and change in behavior.
Yeah, it's almost like that fear turned to fear of missing out, sort of. And to adopt, totally.
Absolutely. So let's move you on now.
Great. So we've talked a little bit about contextual AI and AI in general, but like, what does that really mean specifically in a LILT context? So you'll get a chance to see this in the demo shortly, but it's essentially our real-time learning engine. So we have 2 workflows, our instant machine translation workflow, and then our verified workflow, which is what we're showing here today. In our verified workflow, when linguists actually make changes in our cat tool, in our editor, it's actually instantaneously incorporated into our models. So this adaptation of these models that's happening in real time is what gives us our edge in much faster turnaround times, cheaper translations, while also increasing the quality of the output. So sort of a quick walkthrough here of this diagram. You'll see on the left-hand side is LILT's proprietary models. So this is trained on baseline data, and then it's actually fine-tuned with data specifically from customers. And we actually have individualized models for our customers specifically. That allows us to, again, produce results much faster and then more accurate, specifically as it pertains to the customer individually. Once we get into the internal human feedback step, that's where linguists are actually working in our editor. And this is where that adaptation piece comes in. We'll actually give you sort of a sneak peek into what this like cat tool looks like in just a few minutes here. And for context on the continuous adaptation of our models, whereas we do it instantaneously, the industry standard is to actually just do that once or twice a year. And so in comparison, for LILT, that could be happening as much as you're sending content, so dozens or even hundreds of times per day. And once completed, that'll go back into your business systems seamlessly. So in this case, it'd be like CaptionHub, and that's where it re-enters your workflow, oftentimes without you even having to leave your systems in order to do so. And then your team can also have reviewers. That's our customer human verification, who can either use the LILT system or their own system. And that feedback is also incorporated back into our models. So we have this like sort of double verification step. I think James made a great point in terms of like security. I think another question with AI has just been the quality of the outputs. And so I think this verification and double verification step, particularly for high quality enterprise use cases, can be really important. And ultimately, this enables LILT to deliver brand specific translations and do this at scale without having to sacrifice quality. And we do this by combining both humans and AI in this sort of verified complete workflow that allows us to have the highest quality content and deliver it in an efficient manner.
Super interesting. And so just a question, sort of going back to the last slide and the point about security and privacy. Is this data all sitting in one model, or do you have individual models for different clients and different domains? How do you manage the sort of trade-off of that piece?
Yeah, so we have our actual language models themselves, and then we have I can't speak to the actual like technical divvy of the data itself, but we have data that's associated with individual customers that are actually separate, so that you have individual memories that are associated with customers, and so those are individually handled. So obviously it's not being mixed, and that's also gives us the best results for individualized customer use cases as well.
Super interesting. Thank you. Yeah, no, and sorry to put you on the spot there and come up with a question on the fly.
Cool. So this is our larger ecosystem of our contextual AI platform. Last month, we actually just announced that we're actually opening up our platform and adding new features to provide deeper support for customers on their AI journey. And so this is sort of our like multi-layered ecosystem that comprises our broader contextual AI platform. So it's sort of three primary components here. The first is the contextual AI itself, which enables customers to build customized models for the particular use cases and do so efficiently and rapidly. We've also expanded our AI application portfolio with some exciting releases this year. One of those is LILT Create, which actually enables you to create translated content using prompt-based inputs, which has been super exciting and a fun adoption amongst our customers today. Second part is the connectivity and orchestration pieces. Essentially, when you're building enterprise workflows, you'll have three main components there. You'll have your models, your data, and your human workflows. The orchestration features of our system makes it really easy for you to do this, and to do this in as few systems as possible. Whether that's your partner integrations or LILT itself, it's kind of up to you based off your existing enterprise workflow. And the third and final part is our data and observability. So once you build these workflows, you want to control over how these models are being used, and also visibility into real-time statuses, how it's being deployed, and some monitoring capabilities. And so we have some features around that as well.
So lots going on over at the LILT team. So one of the points that we recently saw, we were at SlaterCon a couple of weeks ago in Zurich, which is one of the localization conferences. And there was, there is an increasing amount of talk in the localization industry about the opportunity for the localization industry to really embrace the content creation piece, which is something that hasn't been done to date, and it's something that clearly LILT is starting to embrace as well. So it's really interesting to see. Vignesh, was there anything else you wanted to add there? Otherwise, we'll jump in, give a bit of a background about CaptionHub, and then we can jump into the product and show everybody what they came here to see.
That sounds great. Excited to hear about CaptionHub.
Awesome. So CaptionHub is a collaborative platform for enterprise multilingual subtitling, but also voiceover. So we help our clients create synthetic voice and do that in a really scalable way. CaptionHub started life 9 years ago now, and we were actually developing, producing commercials, videos for a range of different clients in the media and technology space. And one of those clients in particular were asking us to create multilingual subtitles, and we were doing that in the design studio. And it became quickly a very labor-intensive process. And so we built CaptionHub to solve that problem set for us internally. It just so happened that this was a problem set that lots of other people were experiencing. So video version control, the management, collaboration of lots of linguists, and also the beauty of then building a platform in the cloud meant that we could become very integrated with machine translation and transcription technologies such as LILT. So to sort of fast forward to today, and we have users, over 70,000 users using CaptionHub on a daily basis in 230 countries. And really, we cover the end-to-end subtitling and voiceover process. So that goes from transcription through to translation, delivery of the subtitles, so delivery and distribution of the subtitles at scale. And bear in mind that this can typically be over video platforms for VOD, video on demand, but also live subtitling as well. And then the management of the workflow, so the various processes, people and technologies involved. And that's a very complex orchestration that CaptionHub consolidates. One of the recent capabilities that we've brought to market is our automation capability. And this allows us to take some of the API level automation that might have been previously possible, but deliver that in a no-code way. So we can set up these orchestration and automation workflows that allow our clients to tell CaptionHub exactly how it should transcribe, translate, publish videos at scale. Now, this can be used for at scale entire video back catalogs, but it can also be used for smaller projects and just for optimizing workflow at the sort of manual project level. And the 3 pillars that we really identify and have done for a long time now, but this is, the core thesis of CaptionHub is bringing together, as I said, that the artificial intelligence tools that allow us to speed up or allow our clients to speed up their subtitle generation and completion and production. But then bringing the human in the loop component as you are, and this is where our thesis or theses are really super aligned, bringing the human in the loop components in and managing that across multiple languages, across multiple videos can be a really complicated thing. So we're constantly developing those efficient workflow tools to allow that to happen at a global scale for our clients. And of course, just integrating with the various technologies that our clients need, whether it's the video storage, the video players, or the TMS and the translation and localization technologies. So that's CaptionHub. We've got this slide here. Do you want to just touch on this, Vignesh? And then I think we can jump into the product demo, given the time.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's been a really powerful partnership, I think, between us, and we've been seeing this already with a relatively recent partnership that we just announced. So I think in the short period of time, we've already had 100 hours of video content being translated, which is a single customer so far. Turnaround times have been as quick as 24 hours, been high quality in terms of the actual translations that we've provided. And then the workflow itself has been incredibly smooth. I think this has been a really great initial use case as far as what we've been seeing out in the market, and also demand for this specific type of product. And specifically, like, I think we just complement each other nicely in terms of what we can provide on each of our individual pieces. So yeah, I think this has been really, really exciting on our end. If you want to add a couple whereas in your end too. But it's been fun to see.
Yeah, and hopefully this will go from strength to strength. The key thing here, the unique nature of this partnership is that what we're dealing with is not just translation, but translation of multimedia, translation of video. And this brings, a range of different problems. The moment you add time as dimension into translation, then there are a variety of technical things that you just have to solve on an ongoing basis. And this is where the technologies are really coming together seamlessly. And this is what we're going to look at now. So let's jump into CaptionHub. So we'll just work through a relatively straightforward process. And some of you on the webinar, I recognize a few of you. So hello to those of you who are repeat CaptionHub customers or have seen CaptionHub before. And I also realize that some of you are new to CaptionHub as well. So we're going to start a little bit from the beginning here. So we'll run through essentially this three-step process where we're uploading video and transcribing it. We're translating that video, and then somehow we need to get those subtitles out of CaptionHub and into the video. It might be subtitles, but it might also be voiceover. So the first thing I need to do is bring video into CaptionHub. There's a number of different ways I can do this. And I can either do it at a sort of manual micro level, so I can use the UI just to upload video or multiple videos into a modal. I can use the API right at the other end of the spectrum to programmatically ingest video from, let's say, an S3 or some other media asset management platform. And then somewhere between that, we've got different tools. So we have bulk upload. We also have the ability to use automation to bring videos across from our video platforms. Now, I've got this video here just sitting inside of CaptionHub that I've already uploaded.
My name is Will Butler-Adams, and I'm CEO.
Which is the CEO of our favorite folding bicycle company, just giving a minute-long talk about launching Brompton in Hong Kong. So what we want to do here is create some English captions and then translate those captions into different languages. And that's where we're going to lean on the LILT integration. So the first thing I'm going to do here is just create some English captions. So you'll see at the moment
Of Brompton bicycle.
When I play this video, there's a waveform sitting at the bottom of my screen, but there are no captions against this. So the first thing we need to do here is auto-generate those original captions in English. So let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to hit submit here. And essentially what we're doing is separating the audio out from the video, programmatically then running that through speech recognition. And the speech recognition will give us back a block of text, and using CaptionHub's underlying algorithms will then time that text back to the video in a frame accurate way so that the text is perfectly synchronized with the speaker. And essentially this is allowing us to create captions, and those captions can then be translated further down the line. So let's just take a look at how we then create those translated subtitles in a second. So that's created our transcript for us, and then the transcript has been timed, and now we have these perfectly timed English captions. I'll just hit play here.
My name is Will Butler-Adams, and I'm CEO of Brompton Bicycle. We make...
And what I could do as an editor at this point is get full control over editing the subtitles. So I can manipulate content, the timings of the subtitles, either using the content editor up here or the waveform editor at the bottom next to the timeline. I'm not going to drop into editing today. We're just going to take it that those are perfect, that we're happy with that transcript. And what we want to then do is go and create a number of translations and hand these over to LILT. So I'm going to select all here. I haven't selected any machine translation. I'm just creating these as manual translations. And you can see that these now appear like so. And essentially, rather than assigning to a linguist at this point, I can assign directly to connector at LILT. And this will take the translated or the translation template for each language and send that across to LILT. So in the spirit of time, I'm just going to hand this over to you, Vignesh. So maybe you can show what this looks like on the LILT side, and then we can see the full loop translation coming back into CaptionHub.
That's perfect. Yeah. So I'll share my screen here. Just want to make sure everyone can see this. Great. So just as James said, once CaptionHub does its thing and is able to actually produce these captions itself, it'll now be transferred to LILT via our connector. And so here specifically, there's 3 elements I wanted to highlight. This is our cat editor overall. So this is what a linguist would see when they're doing our verified workflow. And so the first element here, which is interesting, is we get obviously these like frame-based captions from CaptionHub itself. And so LILT will actually smartly connect those phrases to each other to produce sentences or multiple sentences per segment, such that we can actually have full context for a linguist as well as our models when we're actually doing the translations themselves. So that's what you'll see here on the screen. Second, I'll start actually editing. And I wanted to highlight one more element here called we call prediction at LILT. So in this case, please excuse my Spanish in advance, but if I wanted to translate my name, instead of saying mi nombre, I want to say mi amo, I would just start typing ME space, and you have the predicting elements. And for some segments, this would change completely in terms of the structuring and what words to be used all the way throughout the full segment. So now I'll just press through hotkeys and get through the rest of this. And we'll see here another element that I want to highlight. We may not actually end up seeing it with the example today, but one other element that we have is called adaptation. And so that specifically, like, let's say I wanted to say bikes instead of bicycles for some reason. You'll see here that this is already getting adapted. And if we had other cases where we would say, or where bicycles was in the source text, it would also get translated to bikes. And that's how our adaptation works in real time, sort of the contextual AI engine that we were talking about. So I'm just going to go ahead and confirm these and walk through these quickly. And from here, you can essentially see it's working in real time.
Cool. And whilst you're doing that, I'll answer a couple of the questions that have come through. So what level of frame accuracy does CaptionHub provide? So CaptionHub is a fully frame accurate editor. So we will do a frame rate analysis and actually allow you to queue through frame by frame if needed. So you can very precisely caption inside of CaptionHub, and we'll actually apply certain algorithms such as snapping a caption to a scene point if the voice starts within a few frames or ends within a few frames of a particular scene. We also have a question that says, how's the technology with multiple speakers? It works perfectly well with multiple speakers, and we have a speaker identification.
Perfect. Welcome, James. And so I just delivered this project back to CaptionHub, and so we should be able to see the end results there.
Great. Let's just pull that across in CaptionHub. Actually, I'm just going to have to restart Chrome. Give me a second here. If you want to take any more of the questions while I'm doing that, feel free.
Yeah, let me take a look. So what languages are LILT and CaptionHub able to support? So LILT supports over 100 languages, and we're actually, one of the exciting parts of our research is actually focusing on the rare languages. And so that's something that our research team has been looking into, and so that number will continue to grow, and something that we're investing in over time. James, whenever you're ready, happy to pass it back or answer another question.
Yeah, I'm ready to jump in here.
Cool.
So let's jump in. So remind me which project this was set up in.
If you go back to webinar 2, you should be able to see the completed translations there.
Oh yeah, cool. And just so you know, what we can do is we can use these tags and filter on these tags to show any translations that have been completed inside of LILT and then sent back. So you've got a way of managing that in real time. Great. So there we have our English source on the left-hand side.
My name is Will Butler-Adams, and I'm...
And on the right-hand side, we've got a Spanish Latin American on target. So that's great. And we've seen that sort of full loop come through, which is wonderful. So I realize we're coming up to time. That was a very fast 30 minutes. It always is, but we choose a 30-minute webinar because we really want to sort of respect the fact that you're coming along and taking time out of your day. We don't want to bloat a whole hour. So hopefully you got enough there. If you do want to stay on the line, we'll try and answer some of these questions and work through these. And please do feel free to ask any other questions that you might have.
Sounds great. It looks like there's a handful of LILT questions that came in, so I'm happy to get us started, James, if that works.
Yeah, please do. That would be great.
Cool. So what do you mean about observability in the orchestration / control layer? So observability for us essentially just means you get real-time status updates on your projects end to end. So you send it to LILT, you'll end up seeing are like ready to start, are in translation and review, and you essentially be able to get a deeper insight into the exact status of your project, as well as when it's delivered back to your system. So you can see the end-to-end control from your end and be able to monitor that. Does LILT support other LLMs? We actually do. It's a recent update on our end. So we just presented it at our last AI day, but we have recently opened up our platform to support other LLMs, including OpenAI and Bedrock, and essentially really enable to work with our LILT system.
Great, thank you for that. And there's one question that's come through from Jan here. Hi, Jan. Good to hear from you. How do you handle sentence segments divided by timestamps? It's a really good question, and essentially, it's a really important problem to solve, that we are ensuring that we're translating at a sentence level. So we have to really have an individual strategy with any translation, either machine translation or vendor TMS that we are integrating with. Vignesh, you were involved in the development of the integration. Can you talk to the timestamping and the sentence level translation that you're doing on your side?
Yeah, so it's kind of what we were saying earlier, but essentially we will take into account, like CaptionHub will send us frame by frame captions specifically to give linguists the full context of sentences to be able to ensure that it's a proper translation. We'll actually combine those phrases together in order to give that complete context to the linguist when they're actually doing the translations themselves. And that's how we actually end up like file formatting on our end, to make it a smooth end-to-end process.
Awesome, thank you. So we had a question from Selene. Will it take the character limits into consideration? Yes, of course. So you can set up different limits and parameters for caption specifications on a language by language level, and then those will apply any errors and warnings, so that you as a linguist or an editor or a producer are able to filter through those and ensure that your captions are being produced to the right specifications. So that's something that's handled on the CaptionHub side.
Selena asked it's a good question. You worked rather quickly for the webinar purpose, which I appreciate. But how long would it usually take? Is there a complete editing of the translation by a linguist? Yes, definitely. I was sort of flying through it for the purpose of the demo and just showing like what we can do with hotkeys. But our verified workflow process, it really depends on the exact content and linguists working on it, but they can work through it quite quickly. I think we have some stats on how much faster than the normal translation that I can try to get to you after this call as well.
Fantastic. Great. Well, I think we're probably running up to time in terms of people needing to go on to their next meeting or next session. I just want to say a huge thank you, Vignesh, for joining us today and showing us how LILT is working, really behind the scenes, very closely with CaptionHub to deliver this AI HI symbiosis. It's really cool to see the development of this and being able to offer this solution to our clients out in the market. So a huge thank you. Thank you to our webinar audience for joining, taking the time for all of the amazing questions. If we didn't answer your question today, then please do get in touch with us directly. We'll be sharing our email addresses after the webinar. But also, we just wanted to shout out a starter guide to multilingual video subtitling, which is an ebook that we've co-produced with LILT, and this will be released on the 25th. So we'll be sending out this registration link as the follow-up with the recording of the webinar as well, so that you're able to register for that. And those of you that are new to multilingual subtitling, This will provide a starter guide for you. For those more advanced users that would like to find out more, then please do get in touch with us, and we'd love to do a deeper dive with you in your specific workflow.
Awesome. Also, thanks so much, James, for having me here, and really excited about the work we've already done, and also future customer stories here as well with the partnership. Excited to share more.
Great stuff, and I look forward to the next webinar that we do. Great, thanks everybody. Have a great day, and we'll see you very soon.